Well, it's the kangaroo. It looked a little weird that the kangaroo had a dog in a headlock, and they were just kind of posing and waiting for the guy to run up.
Really fake.
All right, so the first thing I want to talk about, and I forgot to talk about it last week, the Unethical Financial Group is doing a Toys for Tots event, and there's a party tonight at their office for anybody bringing any last-minute gifts, and the Marines are going to come by and pick up the Toys for Tots gifts. You okay?
I'm good.
All right. So we have. Do you have the link for their Facebook page?
I don't know. We'll grab that though.
Okay. It's facebook.com/the Unethical Financial Group, and you can see their information there. Speaking of Santa Claus, or speaking of Christmas, we took our kids to a Christmas dinner Sunday, and we're in the bathroom, and my kid's all nervous because he's going to meet Santa Claus, a 6-year-old, Nicholas, and in the bathroom he goes, I hope he's really not fake. And I'm like, well, why would he be fake? He's like, because I can tell a fake Santa. I said, how can you tell a fake Santa? He's like, well, there's a line in his beard. You can see the line in his beard. So he's picking out the fake. And I said, no, I'm pretty sure this one's real. So we go over there, and he sits down on his lap, and he's telling him what he wants. And the beard looks real and everything. And when he gets off of his lap and walks toward me, he goes, he was fake. I said, well, what makes you think he's fake? His beard was real. He's like, his voice was too high. Because he was a younger guy. He wasn't like the old, like, ho, ho, ho Santa. He was the younger, whatever Santa. So, yeah, so we're having a Santa catastrophe at our house this week. So I finished my Great by Choice book this week. And I was pretty happy with it. The one part that I didn't read yet that that I touched on at the end of the book this time was I had to turn on my Do Not Disturb, was that the concept of luck and how some people believe that people are luckier than others, and in this book they found that both good companies or great companies and other companies had the same amount of luck, or sometimes the comparable companies or the bad companies had even more luck, but it was that ability to take advantage of the luck. So that was an interesting concept, and I think it's that, don't let bad luck beat you up too much, but then let the positive, take advantage of the positive, the good luck. So it was an interesting concept. I like it. I just got my new Tim Ferriss book, Tools of Titans. It's incredibly thick. I'm going to go into that one, I think, next. I'm trying to decide if it's going to skip ahead some other ones that I haven't read yet. But, so today my drink is not a beer. We have to go to that Toys for Tots party. I'm going to be there with my kids, so I didn't want to go there with a beer in my belly. So instead, my in-laws were in town, and they bought us Pellegrino, so I'm drinking a Pellegrino today. So, going non-alcoholic. But speaking of drinks, Callie, have you heard of the Miracle on Liberty?
I have not.
It is a pop-up...
Oh, I have heard of it. I almost went the other night, but there was a line.
Really? I figured there would be.
What talk about. I didn't know that's what it was called, though.
I didn't know that's what it was called either. I had a friend that went there, and I forgot to ask him how it was. But it's a pop-up Christmas-themed...
I want to go really bad.
Is it Christmas or holiday themed? I don't even know anymore.
I think it's just a whole clutter, of holiday lights and stuff. I'm sure there's Christmas stuff, like Santa stuff.
So it's just like a mishmash of the holidays, and it's just a big holiday themed, and all the drinks are holiday themed. All right, so yeah, so that's down on Liberty. It's a pop-up bar with a Christmas theme or holiday theme. So on to the social media part of what we're talking about. Have you seen the video of the man that punches the kangaroo?
It looks fake, but I have seen it.
See, do you think it's staged? Somebody today was talking about maybe it was staged.
The kangaroo looks really fake or something, but the guy comes
That's
up,
the way they look.
And the guy comes up as if he's really old-timey boxing.
Maybe that's how they box down under.
I don't know. It looks weird.
Well, it's the kangaroo. It looked a little weird that the kangaroo had a dog in a headlock, and they were just kind of posing and waiting for the guy to run up.
Really fake.
Yeah.
Do kangaroos put people in headlocks?
I don't know. That one does. Maybe he watched WWF.
That's what freaked me out.
Yeah, well, they do. The kangaroos, if you watch, we Googled some kangaroos fighting videos, they are pretty weird. Like they don't look like they do in the cartoons. So anyway, if you check out this video, you can see this kangaroo has this guy's dog in a headlock, and he runs over, punches the kangaroo in the face, and the kangaroo hops off. It was the guy. There's somebody in. I think somebody was trying to get the guy in trouble, whether it's his work or somebody was for abusing animals. I don't know. I heard kangaroos are pretty freaking dangerous, so do what you got to do to get it away from your dog, I guess. So in the technical IT world side of things, somebody figured out how much it would cost to make and maintain the Death Star. And the Death Star would cost $7.7 octillion to operate per day. I guess if you have a machine the size of a small moon, it costs a lot to run and maintain, right? And they counted up even how many light bulbs would be required. It was some crazy amount. But, you know, in Star Wars, they probably don't use light bulbs. They probably have something else, right? The other thing that I think this is an awesome little invention, and this goes to show that you don't need to be an absolute genius to invent something. You just have to figure out a need. So how often do you have to unplug your cord out of your phone and like where the bendy part is of your cable, and it frays and it falls apart and comes out of the adapter? You know what I'm talking about? So this guy invented a little plug that goes into your lightning port or into the USB connection in your phone, and then it's almost like Mac's old magnetic AC adapter for the MacBooks that comes off. It's a magnet, just snaps right onto your phone. So you always have it plugged in here. It's just a little nub that goes right here, and your cable has a magnet on the end of it. So when you get close, it just pops on, and then when you're done, you just pull it and you can go. So you can have one cable, and just if you have a bunch of different devices, you just connect it to that cable, and you're good to go. That's an incredible $5 invention. That guy is probably going to make a ton of money. That's awesome. You don't seem overwhelmed or as impressed as I am.
I think that's really great because I do like my MacBook has the magnetic charger still. They need to sell with your phone, so you don't have to buy it separately, like a 10-foot charger.
Oh, so yeah. Yeah, but then they wouldn't be able to make a ton of money off you.
No, like I don't want. But also, whenever I would buy the 10-foot charger, I'd buy it from like a third party. I wouldn't buy it from Apple because I'm not gonna I'll buy it from.
Yeah, but you know what? I've bought a lot of cables off of Amazon, and they all fall apart. Now the Amazon branded ones I think are better. They feel better when you hold them. But I think I've gone through 7 cables in my house because I thought I'd go cheap, and it was a bad idea. So. The last technical thing we have here is the feds in Pittsburgh dismantled the Avalanche malware syndicate. In fact, I saw I think it was the DA's office in this article actually had a malware attack in their office, and it zipped up their files, and they had to pay $1,400 ransom to get their files back. I would say somebody wasn't doing their backups. Do your backups. I can't say it enough. Do your backups. And I know some of you hate to hear it every week, but do your backups, because these sort of viruses and these CryptoLocker and Locky viruses are everywhere, and you get them in your email, you get them from websites. There was a rumor you were getting it from Facebook last week, but it's actually just an add-in. So yeah, absolutely, back up your stuff, and hopefully you won't have to pay a $1,400 ransom or more. I think there was a hospital that paid like a $15,000 or $40,000 ransom last year. But so as part of that, I guess the feds in Pittsburgh wanted to get back at these people, so they took down a pretty large malware syndicate and hopefully took it off the market. Now I know I've received some of these emails since this was taken down, so there's a lot more out there other than just this one. So that's it. Back up your stuff. Don't open emails from people you don't know. Don't open up zip files from people you don't know. Invoices from anybody that shouldn't be sending you an invoice. Double check. Call them first. We have also, did you see the Amazon Prime commercial? You just saw it. You just watched it because I posted it, right? Mm-hmm. So this goes like to us talking about, can't we all just get along? Like Rodney King type stuff. Like it's an Amazon Prime commercial where a priest and an imam kind of sit down, have coffee, and then they leave each other, and they're complaining about their knees hurting. So they both prime each other a box, and it was knee pads, so that when they're praying and they're kneeling down, So, but it was cute in that they, two completely different cultures or religions get along, but have the same problems. So it was a good commercial in a time when people are hating on a lot of people. And then I saw actually this on my feed, the Secret Sister gift exchange on Facebook. Have you seen that one? I saw one of my friends post about it, something about exchanging gift cards, but it's some sort of a chain letter that the Postal Service says is illegal. So I don't know what the benefit of it is. I don't know that it's anything that anybody I know is doing real hot and heavy right now, but just in case you see it, the Secret Sister $10 gift card exchange chain letter thing is illegal.
What is it?
You know what, I was going to talk about it a little bit more in depth, and I decided not to go into it because we had other stuff. So you have to read it and find out. Yeah, if anybody really wants to see it, go find out about it. Or if you're interested, we have the link in our feed here. I'm not entirely certain how it works or what the appeal is. So, I have two business things that I wanted to talk about, and it goes to. We have two things: 5 toxic personalities successful people avoid, and then the other one are 17 unethical and sometimes illegal life hacks people use to get ahead in life. And I'm interested to see what your opinion on this, Callie, is. So, on the unethical stuff, because there's a lot of things in there that I think other people do. There's things that I've probably done in the past, and then there's a couple that I had no idea. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about the 5 toxic personalities successful people avoid. Now, the first one in this article is complainers. So, do you have somebody around you that complains a lot? Do you know somebody?
In college, I had a friend that.
College. Yeah, right. So, I think.
You know, a complainer. I feel like you become a little bit of a complainer because you're complaining about them.
Right.
And then when you're hanging out with them, they're complaining, so you have to complain about something.
You almost feel
talk with them.
You almost feel obligated to complain. Yeah, right. Because you don't want them to feel bad. And you feel like you kind of have to go along with it.
If they're complaining about something, you don't want to always be like, well, no, or that's not a problem, or something. You don't want to, because it's like awkward. Because then they'll be like, well. So
because then you feel confrontational. You're not being empathetic to their constant problems. Blah 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 blah. But so what happens is then you either become you're confrontational with it, or you then tend to avoid them, or you go along with it and you're just miserable, or right. So I think the bottom line is, if you find yourself complaining about something, stop complaining. Because I'll tell you, I think that, it doesn't do any good, right? It doesn't. There's people that have it off much worse than me, and I think that's something my dad always told me when I was a kid. No matter how bad you think you have it, somebody else has it much, much worse. And I think you can see that in life, especially you talk about people getting in prison for posting a picture on Instagram. If you have the opportunity to spend 4 hours a day on Facebook, stop complaining about it. But I think, like for myself, I think I was probably a complainer for a while, right? I think everybody goes through a phase. But I think now, especially after, trying to build a business and reading the books that I read, that non-productive complaining type attitude, I think it becomes like I have this get away from me kind of response. So it's for me, it's like that infectious, I can't even have that on my mind right now. The other thing, and this is a big one, it's a big attack on millennials, or a big criticism of millennials, is the entitled.
When I'm applying for jobs, my dad is like, nobody owes you anything, and I'm like, okay.
But it's the truth, and it's funny, There's an article I read about, if you want your marriage to last, you put your spouse first. Your spouse should be the most important person in your life, not your kids. It was part of the article. And it's the truth. And the part of the article was that when you put your kids first, then when they grow up to be like, if your kids are the center of your universe, then when your kids grow up to be 25 years old, then they think they are the center of the universe, right? So I think that, it's that whole baby boomers to Gen X and millennials is that, the baby boomers didn't get any attention, so then they try to reverse it and put a lot of attention on their kids and want their kids to be, successful and do what they can for them. So it's, whatever. But this is exactly the note that I have here. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you a job. Nobody owes you money. Nobody owes you anything. It's life. You got to go out and compete, and you got to do what best you can for yourself. So, yep. The conformer is number 3. So basically, the person that is okay with, what everybody else is doing, right? So it's the 40-hour work week, and the person that wrote this article said, that to be the person that punches in and punches out for 40 hours, it's okay if you don't mind being that person. If that's what you want, if you're satisfied with that, and you want to go do something else, if you want to spend time, with your family, if you want to spend time relaxing, if you want to spend time watching TV or on Facebook, you can do that as long as you understand that that's where you're going to be. Where if you want to be a conformer, or if you want to be exceptional, if you want to be exceptionally successful, you can't be a conformer. So the people that are really successful are the people that break out from what's normal. That's how they got to be successful. So it's why they're only the 1% or the 2%, right? You need extra effort. Grant Cardone talks about being average. If you want to be average, then you don't do anything extra. You don't be 10xers. You don't be a 10xer. You don't put in that extra effort. And I think the hard part for anybody trying to do better is that they sometimes feel like they have to conform to fit in, to get along with people that don't have that drive. And I think balancing that out, and sometimes people fool themselves into thinking they can be successful by just doing what everybody else is doing, but there has to be something that makes you different. So I love number 4, the party animal. So the people that go out every night and have a great time and screw around and drink, and then they go into work and whatever. So it's the party animal who's the guy that, or the woman that just goes and parties and has a good time and spends all the energy doing that, taking away from what they could be doing otherwise. And it's that, and in the article, like, everybody has to have a good time, everybody has to relax, but you have to do it in moderation. And I think that goes to the 20-mile march concept in Great by Choice, is that everything you do has to sort of be a 20-mile march. So you can't blow it out every night and have a great time and expect to be able to do whatever you need to do the next day for work to be effective. So you can 20-mile march your work life, your business strategy. You can also 20-mile march your party attitude, and just sort of do everything methodically, even if it doesn't sound like a lot of fun when you describe it that way. And then the last is the doubter, and I can't stand the doubter. And if anybody's started a business, I think you always come across a doubter, somebody that will tell you, yeah, that's great, but there's going to be a lot of hurdles, and maybe you should think about this, and blah blah blah. Like, every time you have a great idea, they're the one that says, yeah, but so many things could go wrong, or yeah, but what if you run out of money, or yeah, but what if nobody likes it? Kind of like what we're doing right now, right? How many doubters, aside from my own doubts for the happy hour, how many doubters did we have that just were like, why would you do that? Or, who's going to watch it, whatever. And right now, there's only a couple people watching, but every time I go out, somebody says, that was pretty cool, I saw that, whatever. You don't have to watch the entire thing, but the fact that we're doing it and the fact that somebody recognizes it. So, doubters. All right, so now this is the fun article. The 17 unethical life hacks. I'm going to wait for it to open up here. So number 1, buy an appliance that's identical to the one you broke, swap it out, and then return the broken appliance for a refund. Have you ever done that?
I don't really buy appliances.
Not even appliances. Like, say you bought a
No, I've never bought a second one and then tried to return the other one.
No?
No.
I
That's
think...
too much time, and that's a lot of effort just to maybe it's too risky on a big item, like trying to like buy a second fridge or like buy something.
Oh yeah, for that I would never do that. That would be way too much effort.
Yeah, or like even like a KitchenAid mixer. That's too risky. Those are like.
Well, so it could even be like an iPod. Not that anybody buys an iPod, but that's the first thing I thought of. So if you buy an iPod and it broke.
They have serial
6 weeks into it.
On all those and stuff.
All right, don't make it so difficult.
But like clothing, that's stupid because most of the clothing I buy is not like insanely expensive, and so it's not worth it to be like.
All right.
$20.
Hey, somebody write in the comments. Give me something. Give me an example. All right, so say a stapler. You bought a stapler. There's no serial number on the stapler. You're stapling away. 6 weeks into it, you break the stapler. It's past the return period.
I want to like be like, yeah, I do this all the time, but I'm just not a big customer service person. Like I don't. Like,
Do you know anybody that's done that?
Probably my sister. She returns stuff all the time, but like I don't love dealing with customer service. So anything,
No.
I will probably if something breaks, I'd probably just like, oh, sorry, that broke. Like, I'm not gonna call a company and be like.
I'll tell you, you know, I probably just did something the equivalent to Best Buy. I bought a camera, right, and it went on sale. It went on sale within my return period, but for some reason, their return, the person on the phone couldn't see that, so they wouldn't price match it for me, and it was a significant amount of money. So I ended up ordering a second one, and then I returned the second one.
What item is this?
The camera that we're using right there. So I returned the second one with the receipt from the first one because I was within the return period. But it's still not quite the same thing. But
that's not as bad because you were trying to return the first one.
I wasn't trying to return it. I just wanted a price match. I was within even their policy.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't do it. So
that's not as bad.
It's not as bad, but. All right, so I didn't even know this was a possibility. Take advantage of grace periods in ticket entry car garages. So you go in, you park, 3 hours, and instead of paying your ticket, you go to the thing, you hit the button, you get a new ticket, and then you use that ticket to get out because it's like a 15-minute grace period. So like there's no charge for doing that.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
That never even occurred to me.
So like instead of just using the ticket you got to go in, press the button, get a ticket, and then use that to pay,
Right.
It would be like $1.
Well, a lot of times it's nothing because if you do it within 10 minutes or whatever, then that never even
occurred. Do that either. I've never seen anybody like walk up to it and push the button or anything.
That's never occurred to me.
That's never occurred to me either. That's bad.
That is pretty
I feel
bad.
Like you could get in really big trouble for that.
Number 3 is weigh all of your fruit as apples at the self-checkout station. Because I guess apples are cheaper than everything else, so you just... that wouldn't have occurred to me either. I feel like there's cameras everywhere checking this out.
Yeah, most of that stuff is like $2 per cent. I guess if you're really trying like one of those coupon clipper people and...
Yeah.
But fruit at the grocery store is like 79 cents a pound. Like...
Yeah.
That's not a big one.
How about lying about your kid's age in an amusement park or buffet to get a cheaper price?
Oh, everybody does that.
I feel like everybody does that.
I was 12 for probably, till I was probably like 15.
Yeah. Now, have you ever done that? I've never even heard of this either. Get a free drink at Starbucks by pretending your order was taken. So you order, and your friend goes and picks up your drink, and then you say, well, my drink's gone, so then you get another free drink, so both of you now have drinks.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Mm-mm.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of people who've like done that.
I've never heard of that. Now this one is
I've actually gotten my drink stolen, so I've had to like...
Oh, really?
They're perfectly fine with just being like, yeah, we'll make you another one.
Well, it costs them nothing.
Yeah.
Coffee is nothing to make. So eat for free at a major hotel's free continental breakfast, even if you don't stay there. Walk in like you belong, take food, and leave.
I mean, I guess if you're like literally living on the street, because...
That was my thought.
I live in a house, and I have eggs in my fridge all the time if I'm that hungry. Like, why do I have to drive all the way down to some hotel that's serving free breakfast?
Maybe if you're a poor college kid, like I'm thinking if you're on the Pitt campus and you walk into the Wyndham and then you can...
Like, even in Pitt, you have like a meal card.
Oh, what if your parents don't put money in your meal card?
No, you have
What if you're
meal
not
swipes.
entitled enough?
You have meal swipes if you go to Pitt. Like, you're given those.
Yeah.
Meal plan.
My thought was the same as you. I mean, if you're starving and you need food, I can understand it. But to be honest with you, those continental breakfasts aren't really that good anyway. So I'm not going to go out of my way to get one. This is another one. This is one I wouldn't do. I would be embarrassed to do this one. Get a free meal at Chipotle by using a debit card without enough money on it. Because, according to a manager, Chipotle will let you go with free food if your card doesn't authorize, because speed is crucial to their bottom line. So it's more affordable to let you go with free food than it is for them to hold up the line and try to figure out what the hell happened. By the way, they've already made your food, so that was specific to you.
I mean, like a tortilla and a scoop or so of that stuff, they're not losing much money either. So.
Right. They probably throw it away at the end of the night, right?
Yeah.
The stuff that they was. But like, how about that scam? Like that would like my card's been declined recently because of like the fraud protection. Well, so I mean, even then, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I know what's going on with it. But like to do this, Have you ever? I know people that did this all the time. Buy a movie ticket and plan out so like you can stay the entire day at the movie theater and just hop from theater to theater to see movies. I can't watch more than one movie.
You didn't pay for, like,
Yeah.
if you're young. I think I did that when I was young.
Yeah.
Like, to see the R movie when you're like only
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. God, I may have done that, but I wouldn't go from movie to movie. I couldn't watch that many movies, and I don't know. That's theft. But I think, you know what? All these are probably theft. But I think with that, I think that because movies are so freaking expensive, I mean, it's $15 to go to a movie now, plus popcorn and
Like
drinks and everything.
Like it's like a full-on like expense.
Yeah, it's not a cheap date night anymore. It's not like McDonald's in a movie. So I think as the general public feels like they're being ripped off, I think then they justify it in their heads why they can rip off the company, because the company's making so much money off of me. Get a free carry-on by asking for the airport gift shop's gift bag. So by using a gift bag, you shove your stuff into a gift bag that you never bought anything with. But I guess having a gift bag, sometimes it's plain
Like buy a pack of gum and just ask for a bigger bag.
Right. I didn't realize they allowed you to carry on an extra bag if it was a gift bag anyway.
You bought it in the airport.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I just thought it counted against the total. Purchase expensive clothing, wear it to an event, and then return it the next day.
I actually have never done that.
No.
Like, that's what he does for a living.
Oh man, I think probably more than 50% of the women around have done that at least once. I actually, a long time, this was 15 years ago, if not more, I bought a pair of shoes at a department store, and I wore them for probably 6 months. And then I realized, because one of my feet hurt really bad, I looked at them and realized they were two different sizes. One was like a half size or a size bigger or smaller. So I returned them, and I told them, and they took them back. So it's not like I lied, but it was pretty borderline, I thought.
Hey, I'm telling you, Nordstrom, you could wear shoes around, and you could like wear a sweater for a month or two, and they will take it back. Nordstrom will take anything back.
You know how many people? This is a great commercial for Nordstrom.
Do you want to know what happened to me with their customer service? I ordered a package to my house with a t-shirt in it and a thing of lipstick. And I accidentally, my set address was my school address, and I had already moved home.
We talked about that.
And I shipped it there, and then I called them the next day, and they were like, oh, well, UPS has already got there. It moved too quickly. Well, do you want us to send you another one, or do you want us to just refund you? And I was like, you'll send me another one? I want to just have to pay for something that got there? So they sent me a whole other one, and I was in contact with the girls at my house still.
So you had two of them, right?
So they were like, do you want us to send you this package we found? And I'm like, yeah, I'll have 2 lipsticks, and I can just do something else with this t-shirt. Like,
you just reminded me of something. I returned something at Sam's Club a couple of weeks ago, and they had a problem returning it. So then they had it didn't give me a receipt to say that it was returned. So then they returned it again. They were pretty confident that I didn't get credited twice. I have to go back and look at my history now. Mm-hmm. All right, do you ever read online subscription news for free by deleting the cookies in your web browser? So like if you go to the New York Times, they allow you to read 5 articles for free, and then...
No, I don't, that's too difficult.
Yeah, I've never... You know what, I probably have done that once or twice because I wanted to read one more article, but I would never subscribe to whatever I was trying to read. So, I'm not going to like make that a habit. Like every day I'm not clearing out my cookies. Use your college student ID for discounts even after you graduated.
Oh yeah, J. Crew gives you a discount. Sydney is 26 and still uses hers. One time this lady started talking to us at J. Crew and she had to be like, yeah, I'm a senior. This was like last year. And she was like, I'm a senior in college and this is my sister and she's a junior in college. Because this lady was like chatting us up and she had worked there and said you was going to use your ID. And I was like looking at her like, you are 26 years old. You look 30. You think you're going to pass as a college student? Like... But you can just start. They take a teacher's ID too, so you can just say, "Oh, I'm a teacher," and
Yeah.
you could be like,
I think I
40
rode.
and hand them an ID.
I think I rode the bus for free for about 2 years after
Or you
college.
can say like, "Oh, I'm a grad student. I'm getting my like MBA." Like,
Yeah.
like
Penguin Student Rush. I think I did that once or twice after college too.
I use
Use pennies instead of quarters in coin slot laundry machines. I didn't know that worked.
or I don't go to the laundry.
I haven't used one of those since I lived in New York. That was a long time ago. The best public bathrooms in a city are in expensive hotels. So basically, you go into an expensive hotel and use the bathroom.
There's nothing wrong with that. As a public
Yeah,
restroom,
that's not
isn't it?
theft. Yeah, I don't like that one. Take advantage of hidden city ticketing to get a cheaper plane ticket. So basically, you want to fly to North Carolina, but the ticket to North Carolina is $300. The ticket to Florida is $150, but it has a layover in North Carolina.
You just don't get on.
You just don't get on the second plane. That's genius, I think.
That is that? It's not really stealing or anything. That's not like illegal.
The first line here is, this one isn't so much unethical as it is controversial. Now,
You're taking space up for somebody who needs to go to Florida, I guess. You're taking space up in an airline that you're never going to.
but you would have been taking space anyway, because you're
Not a
probably
seat, like-
that leg probably would have still been a leg that you were on
I'm
anyway.
flying to North Carolina tomorrow, so like it
Well,
was $300.
well, there you go. So maybe you should have checked Florida. But then the problem is you can't do round trip because,
Yeah, you have to buy another one, so it's going to total up to be.
well, and if you have to buy the other one, you can't buy it from Florida because if you didn't get on the first leg, they won't let you on the second leg.
So you're gonna have to. It's gonna total up to be the flight of the price of a round trip.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something,
Unless like the flight to Florida is like $70.
right. Take a pack of toothpaste and hide a toothbrush inside of it. You will officially be charged for toothpaste pack, and the toothbrush is free.
How do you get a toothbrush inside of the toothbrush?
I don't know. That one's theft. I've never even heard of that
Hide
one.
it in the box.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought they wanted you to like shove it in the tube, and I'm thinking that's like impossible.
But that's theft. I mean, it's the same as
That's
stuffing
you
something in your pocket.
Walking out, yeah.
Right. That's
A
just not.
toothbrush is like $2. You don't need to like steal that.
Well, maybe they have really nice toothbrushes. I don't know. Steal magazine subscription details from any waiting room or lobby. So you go to a dental office, take pictures of the account info,
Get it like forwarded to you.
and then I guess you can change the address, but they could
Yeah.
find out who it's going to. But you can access to the digital version online that way, which
It's not that bad. Like I wouldn't care if somebody did that to me, as long as
the
they weren't forwarding it.
magazine probably cares.
As long as they weren't forwarding it, but if they were going online, I'd be like.
But if they're forwarding it, they have to call up and say, "Well, who's taking my magazines?" So I don't like that one either. I think they were kind of. I think maybe they could have made this a 15
if you
list.
need to look at a
So the last thing. So I don't know. Do you have anything going on this coming week?
no,
Yeah.
next week.
No, not really. I have. We're going to the Toys for Tots thing as soon as I leave here, so I'm going to be cutting out really quick. But I just wanted to. I wanted to do one thing. I kind of like. We've done this in the past, where I kind of pointed out the cards that people have sent us, because I think, much to disagree with Gary Vaynerchuk, who thinks that if you send somebody a text, it's just as important. I don't know if I completely agree with that.
No, you can't send somebody a thank you text if like.
Right.
If you go to somebody's house for Christmas, get a present, you need to send them a note. You can't just be like, hey, thanks for the present.
Right. Can't
Thanks,
just
that's not
email me a
nice.
thank you, right?
No.
Well,
Think
so
about a written card.
in that vein, we just got a Christmas or a holiday card from Tim Hindis from Trailblaze Creative, Tim Hines. So he sent us a nice card, which he apparently designed himself. Very good job, by the way. And so very much appreciate that one. And then one we got back for Veterans Day from Ethan Nicholas and Kim Nicholas. It was a nice card, and they both wrote a little something on the inside, which I thought was pretty cool. They took time, and I don't know how many veterans they have in their organization in the Pittsburgh Social Exchange, but to take time to do something like this, it's something that I certainly don't do, probably should. And their 4-year-old even wrote me a little note here. So, I think it's incredibly nice. I think it's something that, it shows you give a little bit more of a crap than some other people do. So I appreciate it. So, and thank you, Tim. Thank you, Ethan. It was well received. So that's all I have. I don't really have much of a plan for next week. I don't know. I don't have any topics yet. Things are pretty slow right now. We have stuff going on for work. We have a video that's going to be coming up, I think, as long as it gets approved today or tomorrow, for somebody we've been working with. So I'm looking forward to that. But for the most part, most people have mentally checked out. So there's not a whole lot of people we're getting a lot of assistance from for getting work done. So kind of in the let's wrap up some loose ends until the end of the year mode. So we'll be coming to you. I don't think we're taking any time off because we have all the holidays are on Sunday. So we're not gonna take any time off. We'll be here. We'll just have something else to talk about next week. I just don't know what it is yet. So aside from that, I think we're good to go. Everybody have a good weekend, and Callie, have a good trip to North Carolina. Quick trip. Cool. Well, enjoy yourself. We'll see you here next week. Thanks for watching Happy Hour.